It's okay. Talk after I record.
I feel like you should.
Well,
tell it like
technically, you
that.
might as well play Oodles and Noodles Babies thing. It's like
Oodles and noodles, baby.
By McMills.
What's that?
That's alright.
Ain't nobody to give me no hope. Oh, my mama ain't doing no cook. I used to wish that my daddy was.
Can we play that?
I had the gene and I seen it.
It's too late. We're here.
We're already here. All right, ready?
I'm gonna put it on right now.
Huh?
No.
Alright.
No, because when I put on Apple Music, I'm gonna have to ask Meek if I can play that.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
have to
really
pay. You know.
Oh,
Alright,
okay.
so- All right, 3, 2, and action.
Woo!
I am cracking up. It's Regular Dannii. I'm in the building, and you are now tuned in to Regularly Famous. Let me hear a little applause. Woo! I like the vibes.
Okay.
But yes, welcome back to Regularly Famous, episode 3. Sharing my kids. Finally getting to this episode. So, what is this episode about? I'm gonna get straight to it. Sharing my kids. I specifically chose that title because a lot of times, more times than many, number one, we all too many have experienced co-parenting, having to interact with the other parent, even grandparents, sometimes aunts, might not like the uncle, you know, a number of things. But you have to share your babies. So I titled this because in that state, a lot of times we are very selfish, you know? So I can only speak from experience. So you'll notice as you follow me through this journey with more episodes that I'm only going to speak from experiences that I'm going through or have gone through or maybe be on the brink of going through. Maybe somebody could teach me, educate me. Maybe I could teach somebody, educate somebody else. So this is what this is here for. More recently, I've had to share my children. And at first, I didn't want to. I didn't like it because I felt as though they were mine. Why do I gotta share with other people? I don't understand. And the other people I do mean like their dad. I know it sounds fucked up, I know. Oh, wrong button. That was the wrong button. Hold on. Wait, time out because I'm laughing. I'm not laughing. But no, seriously, getting back to it, I actually feel like this wait during this process of even planning this episode was much needed because I was able, to go through different levels and changes of this process of co-parenting, and I was able to adjust my thoughts and really be able to see the different angles of the situation. And I was able to step back, step out of my shoes and see the angles from my kids' eyes. Also thinking about it from their father's eyes and everybody that it affects around us. So again, in the beginning of this process, or after the breakup and everything, women, number one, and I can only speak for women because I'm a woman. I cannot speak for men in regard to what they go through as they go through different changes. Now, again, I have to keep repeating that I'm only speaking from my experiences. However, I do understand that it's so many variables to this circumstance. You have situations where you may not honestly even know each other from the beginning. Next thing you know, you have a whole human life to take care of. It could be a dog, that you have, that you guys were sharing, and next thing you know, it's a breakup, and we trying to figure out how we about to divvy up the dog. You can be together forever. Feel like, at the least bit, y'all have a friendship when you guys cut ties. Because some grown people come to a point where, hey, look, we don't get along, or we're not here for this anymore, or we're growing apart. But you have important things that you have shared over time. And it could be a house, like I said, it could be children, a dog, it could be a car, it could be a number of things. But again, back to my situation, it was my children. So in the beginning, it was very rough for me. Very, very rough because of the issues we had prior to the breakup in regard to how we interacted and parented our children, whether, together, not together. I always thought that we'll always see eye to eye to some degree, right? Like, you know what I mean? Idealistically, you're dealing with somebody. I done had two children with this. Two children. Did you hear that? Two children. Two children with this man. So it's like, you know, at some point we should be able to agree to disagree, especially when it comes to the kids, and just have a common ground. However, it wasn't that easy. I really thought, like, I was very naive, because from the beginning I thought I was very open in regard to how our relationship would work, how our friendship would work, and all of this. I thought I had control over that. I didn't. I don't. Okay? And if you're a female that feels like you do, you don't. Okay? Sorry to break it to you, but that's the truth of the matter. The more you think you have control over something that you don't have control over, you're gonna drive yourself crazy. Layla, excuse me, I'm thinking of a Bible verse. Oh man, Serenity Prayer granted me the ability to
Move forward.
girl.
We're gonna skip that part out.
All right, listen, listen. What I'm saying is, if you can't control it, you gotta let it go. Okay, you gotta give it to God and let it go. And again, that was one of my problems. I thought I had control over the situation. That once it ended, when we go our separate way, we'll be able to agree to disagree, and more. And when I say agree to disagree, I mean agree with me. Okay, I don't care what you're talking about. Okay, I really don't. They're my kids, so I obviously have the best outlook for them. So, sir, listen to me. That's really the gist of it. That's how most females feel, even females that have no right to feel that way. Like, you know, because just as well as, you know, we could shun fathers if we wanted to. I never thought that was a cool thing to do. However, we can do that with females as well, because it goes both ways. Needless to say, what was my point? It's totally fine. Okay, so no, my point was just really being able to understand that the other person has a right to parenting and maneuvering as they see fit, as long as your child is safe. And you have your right to handle it accordingly how you see fit. Now, again, my breakup came along with a number of different things. Homelessness, you know, individual depression, okay? My kids felt it. They went through a number of phases, so I was very, very, very protective over them. Or at least I felt as though the things that I were doing were to protect them, right? On the other hand, I didn't feel as though the counterpart showed the same thing I showed. So for me, I felt like because I showed a certain affection a certain way, he didn't show it the same way I did, that I was more so the bigger parent, or better parent, or the best in the world, or just the bomb diggity. But that wasn't accurate either, you know? And I had to peel back so many layers just to get to that part in order to be able to co-parent with their father properly, to some degree. I mean, I really feel as though I've swallowed a lot, because when you become the bigger person, or the person that realizes the problem, you can't play tit for tat. And especially when, like I said, we're talking about something so important as children. You know, something as important as a mortgage, or, you know, divvying up bank accounts, or, you know, what have you. You really have to, I'm trying to find the words. Bear with me. You really have to put your pride aside. You really have to put your pride aside, and it's a big pill to swallow. So, like, my first transition was adjusting to, okay, I no longer have my family no more. Okay, that's done up. I have to accept that. It is what it is. I have to move forward. And then after that, I went through a phase of, like, again, I had a long relationship, and a number of things went on. As advised, I was homeless. I felt like this dude owes me. Like, dude, no. Like, you know, this is crazy. And because I felt that way, it was then, if I'm being honest, throwing up guards in front of my children. Not that I was using them as pawns, that's the last thing I'm gonna do. But if we're talking about the kids and if I'm getting frustrated way faster, it's 10 out of 10 because of the fact that I got something else on my mind. Something, I don't like you, sir, so everything about you is gonna make this whole conversation go from here to there. So I had to learn to separate, okay, departmentalize, because when it comes to the kids, it comes to the kids. In order for us to move forward and be able to have discussions, be able to go to parent-teacher conferences, to be able to be in the same room, and our kids don't feel like, oh my gosh, it's about to go down. Mo, get the bell. I'm gonna get the rope. Put them in a ring, like, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta be able to put your pride aside again. And again, it doesn't matter who the bigger person is. If you're the man and you notice it, you gotta buckle down. If you're the female, you notice it, you gotta buckle down. And it all narrows down to, honestly, knowing who you're dealing with, knowing who you're sleeping with, knowing who you're sharing these things with, you know, knowing. Because a lot of times, and I think it goes both ways, women, sorry babes, but we tend to put expectations on things that are not going on. We see something they don't see. It's like if we put a mirror in front of us, I'm gonna see King Tut. He see a goddamn trapper. Like, you know what I'm saying? you don't see what you see. So the expectations that you are placing on somebody, you know, regardless if you describe them to them, regardless if you walk them to it, regardless if you show them pictures of, you know, before and after, that person has to want it. And it goes, like I said, it goes both ways. So you could be looking at, you know, you see some type of mogul boss lady, and the whole time she like, I'm trying to go to the club. You know, you got to know who you're dealing with, understand who you're dealing with, and then that relieves a lot of stress as well. You know, and you got to own it. Like, okay, I see a lot of times, I think we all see a lot of times via social media, baby daddy, baby mama drama. But y'all don't realize how bright y'all look. Not bright y'all look. Because you just put on blast who you was sleeping with for how long? How bright are you? And you just put on blast who you was kicking in. How bright are you? You know, so this is not making either party look good. And then y'all got kids. How bright do the babies look? It don't do me no favors to try to badmouth somebody that, you know, I saw something in, you know, that or, you know, he had put faith in or thought he could change, you know. So you definitely got to know who you're dealing with. Once you know who you're dealing with, you'll be able to, again, maneuver much better, be able to communicate much better, you know, plan much better. Like, life just gets that much better. But again, taking it, moving forward, as I've climbed out of such a dark place, okay, because again, dialing back to the ladies, because I can only speak for myself and the fact that I'm a woman, it's a challenge because you don't just deal with, okay, like boom, especially if you're the person, you know, the custodial parent. Mommy, daddy can't do nothing if they can't take care of themselves. If they're barely making it due to mental health issues, due to, you know, financial issues, due to emotional issues, just whatever the case, if they're barely making it, they can barely help that child. So if you're the other parent, knowing that this type of conflict is going on, this type of strain is going on, while your children is with that, you know, is with that parent, and you're adding to it, like, shame on you. Shame on you. The only thing is to do is to find a resolution, because if that person is not stable, there's no way your kids can remain stable. They could try to hold it up as much as possible, but without the, you know, proper help. You know, it takes a village, and sometimes some people don't have a village. And men and women, the same, tend to just be having relations with anybody. And I'm not gonna say just anybody, like somebody who doesn't have a village is just anybody. But then complain about certain things that aren't available, or, you know, complain about the lack of what somebody, that, you know, that person may have, when really you should have been paying attention who you was deciding to deal with, who you was deciding to lay with, who you were deciding to make a child with, you know. So if you have the child, I mean, that right there is nothing that you can dwell on. Now moving forward is really just accepting what it is and planning the best solution so that the children, the dog, the mortgage, whatever the case, can flourish accordingly. I feel like I should, because I really feel like this is definitely something that, again, like I said, a lot of people can relate to. And I wanted to do this by, like, the first initial conversation by myself, just because, again, I have to speak from experience. I have to speak from, you know, what I've went through. At this point, I mean, to be quite frank, me and my kids that don't even speak. We speak through the grandparents, the grandmothers. Like, that's how we decided to communicate, just to relieve strain from each other. Because even just conversing causes too much of a headache. It's like, it's just too much. At the end of the day, we know you love the children. We know I love the children. We know they're going to be safe. Anything further is best in regard to the children exchanged through the grandparents, because anything outside of that is like low-key, you know, animosity, low-key beef. You know what I mean? Like, low-key. But again, that was the best solution for my situation, and it's working out just fantabulous, if I do say so myself. Because I personally feel like speaking to my, you know, that other person, it just makes everything spicy. And thus far, it's been working just great. I feel like if you are unable, before you get courts involved and all of that, because hello, like, the courts don't know you. The courts don't know your family. The courts don't know your children, and they do not care when, you know, something hits the fan. So I don't believe in doing all of that. I'd rather deal with our village. We'll work it out. We'll figure out the best solution. And like I said, this is the best solution for me. If that works for, you know, somebody else, I say do it. I say rock out. You know what I mean? Because again, mental health is very, very important. You cannot take care of your children if you're not taking care of yourself. Okay? It's like not drinking water and telling your kids to drink water. It's so messed up. Drink water. Hello. But I say that to say that I hope to open up this conversation much more, you know, for the different situations and the different scenarios, because I know a lot of people deal with this. A lot of us deal with this, and it, again, it doesn't mean that you come from a broken home. Doesn't mean that, you know, this was intentionally how things would have came, you know, come together or fell apart, whatever the case, however you want to put it. But a lot of us deal with this, and a lot of our children suffer from the reactions to, am I saying this right? A lot of our children suffer from how we react to each other, you know, in the household.
Some parents like react to each other.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like it's really a ripple effect, and a lot of times as parents, we tend to, I can't say me because I don't, but I feel like I feel like parents tend to like not take your children's thoughts and feelings into consideration wholeheartedly, as if like because they're children they don't know. And we got to remember, like, children are our future. Children are the purest thing on earth, you know, that we can get to an angel. So, and you got to stop sleeping on kids. Like, I feel like parents are dream killers too. Like, you will kill a dream, okay? Like, don't shut my shit down because you ain't had no baby. Hold up, wait a minute, you know. But so we got to take responsibility and take ownership for the energy we put into our children. Arguing, yelling, all of that, and like, even if, you know, there's not a man or a female in the house you're arguing with, on the phone doing all of that, you know what I mean? They pick all of that up. They're sponges, you know. And I had to learn that the hard way. I'm speaking from Me and my kids are really tight. Those are my dogs. Like, brr, 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 brr. Okay? Like, they my best friends, but I'm not their friend. Like, I'm their mom. They know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not friends, but they my bestest friend. They my bestest friend. I love them so much. They mom. So, we really like communicate, and we're really open with each other. And I think that's some people, like outside looking in, that don't know our dynamics or overhear our conversation. It's like one or two things that you're going to respond like, oh, you know. I mean, my kids aren't like disrespectful or anything like that, but they do speak their mind. They know their lines though. They definitely know. Just respect. I don't feel like it was understood. Shouldn't have to be said. They're respectful children, but again, you're just not gonna say anything and think these kids gonna just be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what it is. No, they questioning it. They need proof. They need to understand where you got your logic from. All of that, you know. But like I said, me and my kids are very open, and I was able to learn a lot from my children in regard to some things I didn't even think they were paying attention to. Like, it even changed my kids' eating habits. If we just gonna, you know, be extremely blatant with it. It changed my kids' eating habits, how they respond to certain things. They don't trust very easily. So, yeah, you definitely gotta pay, and that's with me not exposing them to a lot. You know, really just like them hearing prior before me and their father arguing or something like that. But then after, what really hit me, what really struck me, and really, that's what really drove me to this episode was, they saw me break it down because I mentioned earlier, you know, I went through homelessness. Now in that transition, once I got to being tired, like, no, I can't wait for no man. I got to do it myself. You know what I mean? I picked up, then I did what I had to do. And the motion of that, I ended up moving quite far. And it was a lot of stress. And it was a lot of strain. And it was very different for me because I'm family oriented. I have yet to be away from too far from my mother or my siblings, like in general. So for me to pick up and be like, hey, yo, nah, something got to give, like, that was a big move. That was a big move. Just from, again, my family dynamics and how I came up in general. But there were plenty of times they saw me folded a little bit under pressure. I ain't gonna say folded, bruh. Like, I ain't gonna say folded. There wasn't no crease in my shit, you feel what I'm saying? Like, it was like bent over a little bit. Thrown up. And I remember my son just being upset because he's like, I don't know how I can help you. Like, my son is, at that time, he was 11. Nope, he was 12. Yeah, he was 12. And he worried about how to help me. Like, no, it hit like a ton of bricks, like a ton of bricks. I said, oh yeah, no. They see me in the wrong light. It's not even me. It's not even my style, B. You're saying, let me tighten up, let me get right. You mean? Or I'm gonna get left. Okay, so after I felt that, I had that epiphany, I realized it really, you know, like I said, it really set in what I had to do, what I had to let go, what I had to let, you know, give to God, what I had to, you know, how I had to adjust my prayers, down to my meditation, you know. He really, well, both of them, because my daughter just the same, you know. Honestly, it's like feeling little, but they're not twins. She felt the same way, you know. She's 10. Like, come on. This is not what they should be worried about. Should not be what they should be concerned about. You know, they should be being kids, being happy, seeing the greater things in life. You know, being naive and stuff like that. Here they are worried about real life things. Like, I'm like, dude, we gotta kick push. We gotta fix this. So, in the midst of, well, not in the midst, excuse me. After that epiphany, one of the things I did have to do, because I was being extremely territorial with my children, when I moved, I just felt like, no, they're coming with me. Like, no. They're coming with me. Now, with them coming with me, they definitely had to get in some mud, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to them kids, because they is resilient, all right? When I say that it was some days where I'm feeling like, absolutely, positively not today. It's not it. It's not it. Here they come. Nah, mom, tighten up. Let's go. It's it. Today's the day. Let's go. So, though they were, much needed, they were also being put into a position that was far, far too much for them to have to deal with. Moving, whole new area. Midst of COVID, let me throw that out there as well. So we got the midst of COVID. So all of this is, virtual learning. All of this is extremely new. Now again, not the virtual part, because again, they was doing that since last year. But again, you know how the kids was with the virtual. And then where we moved to originally, ain't had no service. I'm really gonna get into that. We're not even gonna get into that. Okay, but they weathered some things, and it got to a point where I asked myself, like, do they have to go through this though? Like, ask yourself that, damn. Do they have to go through that? Yeah. You their mother. Yeah. You want them to be with you. Yada yada yada. Woo. But do they have to go through this part? The answer was no. They had another option. The other option was their father. Now, there's some spicy things within that option. Because, Layla, you know what I'm talking about. Okay.
She
Huh?
can't see.
They can't see who?
You see Layla?
Oh, it's cool. It's cool. They can't see y'all either. But my baby village is here. My siblings is here. So y'all hear me talk? Y'all see me looking? That's where I'm looking at. $, you feel me? Follow her on IG. She do braids. You see me. You see me.
Show me out.
You see me. We got all about Akira over here, you know what I'm saying? Bad and bougie, you know what I'm saying? And we got Dannii Yizzle. Okay, off the fish shizzle. Roll up. That's my guy. But no, for real. But no, so like when y'all see me talking, that's what I'm talking to. But cause look, with this, I feel as though I want to give all of my truth, and when I give my truth, part of other people's truth be in it, and I just be kind of like, so when you hear me hesitate, it's really because I'm trying to figure out if this is right or wrong. But am I right to discuss kind of how like they transitioned back to Jersey and how that process was? Or is that just too much?
It wasn't bad.
Huh?
It was fine.
No, I mean the kids was fine, yeah. Of course, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mimi, you feel what I'm saying? Yeah, Mimi, shout out to OG Low, you know what I'm saying? Big Low. That's my mom's. Hi mom, I love you so much.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. 3. But cause that's the thing, part of sharing my kids, you feel me? Like you got I gotta now, like, okay, I'm gonna say this. Part of sharing your children, like,
Try to say it without bashing.
I'm not gonna be,
That would be the negative.
yeah, I didn't want it to sound like that either.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking. So, part of this, in my situation specifically, you got to deal with, somebody moving on as they should, okay? But now I got to share my kids, like, and then I don't want to do that. I don't like that. Hold on. You took a shot real fast because I don't like that. Oh, hold on. So, again, it's not that I don't like it wholeheartedly. You feel me? Because, like I said, move on. However, okay, I don't know the process of who me too, who do. It's just a thing you're supposed to do. I don't know why. Yeah, I do, because I watch the news. That's why. People is crazy. Simple. Like, simple. So I need to meet whomever is going to be around my babies. Period. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? But that process was a process. And after it finally happened, if you will, if you want to call it that, I did feel better about it. I'm gonna zoom in on that part. I did feel better about it. I felt a little bit more comfortable, and I felt more comfortable because my children were cool. They said, you know, sis is cool, then I'm cool. Now, because let me give one detail, because this it's the little things, okay, that could make things big, and then make one party look like dramatic, and that's not the case, right? So, for example, if you father or mother, and you're dealing with somebody, and the other counterpart wants to meet the person, I don't feel as though there should be an issue. Now, don't get me wrong. You may have a counterpart that is just childish. And in that standpoint, you know, slightly understandable. Slightly understandable, because you don't want to cause more conflict for your partner, to have your partner running off because this person is childish and can't control themselves or their emotions or whatever the case. But when you know who you're dealing with, again, like I said, know who you're dealing with. When you know who you're dealing with, I do not feel as though there should be any complication or any lying or making the children lie, putting the children in grown folks' business. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, it got spicy. It got really spicy, and I, for the life of me, couldn't understand. And then you gotta understand, when you make things spicier, and already I may have some like animosity I'm trying to put in a box, throw in the ocean, I'm trying to move on, and then every time a person is trying to, you know, get to the next step, and I know a lot of men deal with this too. The person makes it harder for them, and in those situations, I'm gonna be honest, and that's why I will, you know, again, I'm definitely gonna open this conversation up again, because I do want to hear some of people's situations and what their solution was, should I say. Not just their problem, but the solution. I know I used to speak with a gentleman who had some children issues, and, you know, he had said to me, like, she won't let me see my kids. Now, I'm a fatherless daughter. Let me not say fatherless daughter, because, you know, me and my pops, that's my bro. I mean, that's the big homie, so I'm cool with him. It's my nigga. But I went through a fatherless phase, a fatherless stage, a fatherless time frame. However you want to put it. So for me, when you tell me I can't see my kids, and then you say my daughters and shit, there's triggers. It's triggers. Wow. Fuck you mean you can't see your fucking kids? Fuck you mean? No, blow the house up. Bring the babies out, blow the house up. I don't know what you're talking about. Your kids, your daughters would be so happy. Like, look at my dad, he a hero. I love him so much. He blew the house up. Woo, woo, woo. I'm just saying. Pull up. Sit outside, wait for the cops to come. Let your kids see that you are willing to make a spectacle of yourself. Okay? That's just me, because that's what I thought as a kid. If you miss me, show me. That's probably why I got issues now. Let's give it a shot. Hold on. Technical difficulties. 1 second. It's okay. It's okay. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. We all have these. Don't pass judgment. Because God is my judge. Get it together. And we're back. All right, we're back, people. We're back. I'm not even going to edit that out. Because life happens, okay? That was a prime example of life happening. And you rolling through the punches. Like so. Sorry, people. I have a designated driver. Everything's bad. Okay, so no, what was I saying? Come on now.
I got it. Take your time. You said that's why you got problems. You feel like that they should show you that they miss you.
Yes, show me the money. Show me the money. Okay, that's how I feel. But no. Without the dramatic, seriously. Everything varies though. I can't sit here and say like, oh, you should pull up, because I done seen females go through heights to do some irrational, messed up stuff. To fathers, dads that don't deserve it. You know, but again, like I said in the beginning, it always comes down to knowing who you're dealing with. And baby, when I tell y'all it's chess not checkers, it's chess not checkers. Once you see the problem, once you know the issue, once you see the angle, whatever the case, you gotta figure out what move the bus next. And in this case, because it's a sensitive matter, you have to, deal with each other for, however amount of time, depending on the breakup, whatever the case. You got to play the cards accordingly. You got 18 years left to deal with this person. Why are we about to make life hard at year 1? Like, what's up? You got to know when to let go and let God. I can't stress that enough. Okay? Let go. Let God. Okay? Drink water. Okay? It's going to come together. I don't know why I wouldn't bring it together, but what it do? It's like the glue. You know what I mean? Keep it from a hangover. Keep your skin looking nice. You see my skin? Y'all see my skin? Stop playing with me. Stop. Shout out to Riri. This is Fenty on the skin. Okay? She a problem. But me and go there. Okay, so but yeah, I think I covered a good amount of bases in regard to without, because I mean, we could be here for a while messing with Nick in the details. But the thing is, the goal, what I'm really trying to say is, with what I just said to you guys, there was so much more compacted into that. It was so much more detail into that. It was so much more struggle into that. But the main point of that is, I'm at a point now where I see where I was struggling. I see where what I was holding on to, and what was holding me back, myself. And once you get out of your way, once you allow what is to be, it's just so much smoother. It's just so much smoother. It's just so much smoother. It's like Deuce. It's just so smooth. You know what I'm saying? It's smooth, baby. I'm trying to tell you. Hold on. Hold the phones. And it's so much better for the children. Our kids are in such a better place mentally. And it shows in what they do. Like, at one point, my kids didn't even want to go outside. It's crazy. And if you my kid, you probably like, what? Yeah. You gotta pay attention. You gotta pay attention to the babies, man. And that's really wholeheartedly, because I could have beefed with with they pops all the rest of my life. I don't give a fuck. Beat that shit fuck. That's like, now playing respectfully. Take out you. But nah, real rock. You know what I'm saying? But that's nothing that they wanted. It's nothing that they deserved. Guy's in a terrible guy. You know what I'm saying? We all gotta learn the curves. That's they pop. That's their whole entire pop. So like, me being corny, whatever the case, holding grudges or whatnot, like, that just make me look mad whack, son. Who wanna be whack, B? Who wanna be whack? Might wanna be whack, B. Not me. It's hard for me to be whack anyway. It's so wavy. It's the Deuce. I'm sorry. We calm down. Hold on. Now I'm back though. But yeah. I'm happy I was able to put this together. Hopefully, not hopefully, but like, comment, subscribe. I'm like getting all this together, like the whole like YouTube thing, like I'm recording right now. I'm surprised I ain't gonna like snap or something. Maybe I should, I don't know. But YouTube is Regularly Famous Podcast. That's what it's called. Yes, Regularly Famous Podcast on YouTube. On YouTube, excuse me, and on Facebook, Regularly Famous. On Instagram, Regularly Famous. As for my personal information, we got regular_Dannii for IG, regular Dannii for Facebook. Even though I really don't dabble too deep in Facebook, I'll be honest. Holla at me on IG. On Snap, I'm regular Dannii. 2 N's, 2 I's. That's me. Yeah. I'm around. You know the vibes. I roll dolo, state to state. You feel me? Shout out to Back to Bed. Let me take a moment. And I'm gonna take a shot for my big homie, you feel me? Because that's my stepdad. Period. And that's that on that, and that's on Pooh in his little ass shirt. And I wanna leave off by saying something uplifting in regard to the episode, right? Love yourself. scratch. God first. Love yourself. If you have children, love those children. Respect your village. Okay? Equity is the goal. Mailbox money. If y'all ain't listened to that album by Nipsey Hussle, I don't know what to tell you. I don't even know what to tell you. I don't even know what to tell you with that. Ooh, but those are the goals. Okay? The pursuit is happiness. Okay? Take care of the earth, right? Because my daughter said so. And look out for my son, as he's going to be an engineer and he's going to have his own auto line. Y'all might want to, you know what I'm saying, invest in the bull now. And then, before y'all be like, oh my gosh, he's the next Elon Musk. I mean, don't try to get a car now. Don't try to get a car now. But, yeah, that's that on that. And, until next time, I think I wrapped everything, I summed everything up. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube. If you have any, you want to DM me, DM me. If you want to comment on anything I said, comment. If, what's my webpage? My webpage is under construction. But I'm going to put that under there too. You know what I mean? Because it's up there. Okay? It's up. It's stuck. It ain't going nowhere. Period. My Pesos voice. Okay, and Cardi. Respectfully. But yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it. I think that's it. I think that's it. Did I cover everything, y'all? Did I cover everything, y'all?
Yeah.
I think that was cool.
Yeah.
Kara gave me a thumbs up. Kara gave me a thumbs up. Layla gave me 2. And Nayazo gave me 1. You feel me? But Kara gave you 2. Give you 1. You gotta run with that shit. So I'm out.
You sweating?
No.
Damn, that shit got in my ear.
You the
Yo, I looked at you, I was about to be like, wow.
Yes, What you say? What you say? What did you say?
What'd I say?
No.
You driving right now?
I think I'm right there.
Yeah.
Yo, my back is